why I have this stick here. This is a very special stick that you'll learn about later when we're making lefse, or a Norwegian um, flatbread. This is a tradition in my family that we make this at Christmas time, and it makes a yummy savory treat or sweet treat. It itself is savory, but you can add some sweet things to it later. So I'll be going over the equipment that you need as well as the recipe. Now we're going to make two versions of this, and my recipe today comes from this cute little booklet called Julia Peterson Tufford's Original Scandinavian Recipes. It was first printed in 1940, and it has a ton of recipes. Here's just a very nice, simple lefse recipe that we'll be using today, and all of the recipes are always in the description. I write them all out for you. I often add my own spin to them. And hi, my name is Trista, and I am the vintage cookbook nerd. I love to read all of these vintage cookbooks from cover to cover. I look at the recipes, figure out which ones might be the best, and kind of imagine myself making them and then make them for you so that you can learn as well. So before we begin, let me go through the things that you'll need. There are some modifications here if you don't have this equipment. So first we have special rolling pins. Now you can use a regular rolling pin, excuse me, like I have in my drawer here, this French rolling pin. This is my favorite, really basic and easy. However, if you use a textured lefse rolling pin, this one has some dust. If you use one of these, this one has kind of lines in it, and this one I like the most because it has these grooves. They are not much fun to clean out, but it's worth it. So these are really great to use because it really helps the texture of the flatbread. Now this stick you'll see in action later, but it is for moving the flatbread from the griddle to your landing spot. I'm going to be using some parchment paper to lay out my finished flatbreads, but this is a great tool for that. And it's super cute and pretty. You can get really ornate ones if you want. You can either hang it in your kitchen with this cute little loophole here, anything you'd like, but there are even fancier versions. And then really essential in my opinion is a potato ricer. I'll show you the ingredients and what we have prepared here, but this gives you the smoothest dough rather than just smashing it with a potato masher. We're going to use this to kind of incorporate the ingredients, but this is the best. So you want the small holes here for ricing the potatoes ahead of making the dough. And this is not absolutely necessary, but it is a game changer when it comes to making a lot of lefse. Oops. And it is a flat griddle. It has the temperature over here. You plug it in to heat it up. Very, very simple. I usually set it at 350 to 400. So we'll heat that up later. But first, let's get going on our dough. So I have I actually have two things of potatoes here. These are both rice potatoes. I just heated them up a bit so that we could melt the butter that's in here. So in this bowl, I wrote myself a note, We have 4 cups of the rice potatoes, and then we're going to add 2 cups of flour, because for each cup of flour, we want a half cup of flour. Now, I discovered quite by accident that if you use a regular recipe, but you use some gluten-free flour, it's the flatbread is a little bit softer and more pliable, easier to roll up for things, which I really like. I have a friend that's gluten-free, and I made some for her, and I really love this. Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 flour. I'm not sponsored by them, but I love them, and this is my favorite mix for gluten-free. And of course, the original is just all-purpose flour, which we're going to use over here. I'm going to make the gluten-free ones first, so there's no contamination with that. Of course, if you're celiac, you would not have any of the all-purpose flour anywhere near here. But anyways, so let us get into the rest of the recipe. And you might notice my beautiful apron here. This is a Swedish apron that my mom recently gave to me. I have a huge collection of aprons. This belonged to a lovely family friend named Sandy, who sadly passed away a few years ago. So hello, Sandy. Thank you for watching us from a beautiful place you are in now, and just honoring you by wearing this apron. We used to get together with Sandy and her husband and family to make lefse every year, and we had lefse all over the place. Used to be that we'd set them all on clean tablecloths to kind of dry or cool down also, and then we would pack them up and freeze them for Christmas Eve and afterwards, and for giving as gifts and stuff. So let's get into the recipe and make this dough so that I can show you how to make the flatbread. So I have 4 cups of riced potatoes in here. What I did was I took 3 of these really large potatoes. The original recipe says 5 large potatoes, but I thought that's going to be a lot of dough. So we're dividing it up a little bit more. But I peeled these, put them on the stove in a big Dutch oven, covered them with water. Oh, I also chopped them up after peeling them so that they boil quicker. Once they're nice and soft, then I cooled them down a little bit before ricing them. And if you don't get the butter in there right away, you can always heat them up again. So what I'm going to do is mash these with the butter first. And it's getting nice and smooth. Now I have to say, here in my household, I'm the only one that really likes lefse that much, I'm pretty sure. But it's still worth it for me to make, because my lovely friend Diana really loves it, and I might give it to a couple more people. And it keeps really great in the freezer. And I'll show you my favorite way of eating it in a little bit once we get it made. So this is nice and smooth, if you can see here. And we're going to add a half a cup of cream, heavy cream to this. So good. And also we want to add some salt. We want 1 teaspoon. So I'm going to take I have this cute little container. I put kosher salt in here, so 4 of these is 1 teaspoon. Okay. And we're going to get that nice and smooth. Okay. Let's put our gluten-free 1-to-1 flour in there. There's a little bit of cream missing. And I'm going to get just a wooden spoon to mix this up. And what we want to do, well, I have these kind of handy trays here because once we get this mixed up, I'm going to get my other mixture over there because I'll deal with that later. But once we get this mixed up, we want to make kind of egg-sized balls so that we will have them ready to roll out each ball as some flatbread. So there used to be a food cart in Portland, Oregon. It may still exist, where they made really yummy kind of gyro-like kind of flatbread sandwiches that were savory out of Lefse, and I thought that was really clever. So although most of the time we add a sweet topping, at least in my family we do, but you can also use it kind of as a sandwich wrapper, or add some savory toppings, maybe cream cheese and herbs. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it, which I will be excited for you to tell me what you do with this. So as you can see, this is a nice dough now. I'm just going to use my hands to make sure and incorporate all of the flour. Now I'm not going to make all the balls right now, but I want to get to the baking part of this. In patience, in patience. So let's see here. So I would say that's about the size we're going for, like kind of a large egg size. So I'm just going to make 3 of these for now, and then I'll be doing more of this later. But I just want to be able to get to the action part and show you this. I would love to know what holiday baking you're doing, what homemade gifts you like to give out. I might be doing a recipe later. My mom usually made something called a kringle, a Scandinavian kind of ring of bread that had either a nut filling or a fruit filling, and it has a yummy frosting on top. And she would usually make that for all of the neighbors and give those out. So that is also something that we had for Christmas morning breakfast. So I have my dough balls here on the tray, and then I have just kind of a rubber mat here, whatever kind of rolling mat. I have this, my handy rolling pin. I'm going to put a bunch of the gluten-free flour here. And my mom also recently said that you can make this with whole wheat flour, which is really tasty and also rolls out really well. So I'm going to dust that just a little bit more, and it's okay, it sticks a little bit here and there. So I'm also going to take a moment to clear away a couple things so that I can get the griddle heating. Let's get that going over here. I also have a cutter because we're going to be cutting these in fourths later. It's really handy to cut them. Oops, I accidentally, my light going, sorry. Okay, let me try to plug this in. Sorry, it's the same place as the toaster. There we go. Okay. So, okay, we have the griddle heating. So let's take one of these balls and we're going to roll this out. It's okay to put a lot of extra flour. A lot of times mine end up looking more like continents than round ones, but this is looking pretty good. Now I might want to make these a little bit bigger, but we'll see. And I will show you in just a moment what this looks like. But yes, in the comments, please let me know what types of holiday treats you usually make for gifts, if you give them to neighbors or other things. So here's what the stick is for. Now this is nice and thin. I don't know if you, shoot. There we go. Now it's a little bit delicate as you see, but that's all right. So we're just gonna flip it as best we can onto here. This will be our snacking one, and this is still heating up, so it's gonna be a moment before it gets hot, but that's all right. This will be our tester. And I don't know if I can, well, hold this up a little bit so you can see it on the griddle. Wouldn't recommend holding this griddle up very much. So let's get this going. Okay, so I'm going to roll out another one. Yeah, do you make cookie boxes or jams or pickles, or what do you like to make for gifts? I love to make cookie boxes. Sometimes I have one or two classic cookies, and I might try a couple of new cookies every year. I'm always so tempted by the food magazines. I still get the print magazines. So I love to try those. Now, okay, I can smell the griddle is heating up. Okay, that's getting going. I'm going to turn it up. Yeah, I'll turn it up to 400 here. You can also use an electric skillet, or you can do these on the stove if you want, but you really have to watch them because it's a little easier if you can control the temperature more. Now this one turned out quite nice, a little bit rounder, but I need to do a little repair on it. Not perfect, that's all right. Sometimes it takes rolling out several before you get some that are nice, but I actually just repaired that in the griddle, so we'll see. Oh, and then I ripped it again. I only do this once a year, so we need to forgive ourselves for those little things. All right, so let's roll out another one. Yes, I love to hear about people's traditions, what you make for your holiday celebrations. And yeah, I have an uncle that loves to make kind of a pickled thing to give out. One year my husband had a beehive, and we actually gave out homemade honey. So that was really delicious. And yeah, this is heating up. And I'm hoping maybe next spring we should do another beehive. Oh, this is a good one. I don't know if I have room on the griddle for this one, but it's a good one. Let's try. Oh shoot, it broke a little bit on there. All right. I think I might need to make these a little bit thicker. Still gonna be tasty though. All right, I think I'm gonna make the balls a little bit bigger. Maybe softball size. We can get them a little bit bigger because these are a little small, even though the recipe says that size. These are a little small for my taste. And we're gonna have plenty of dough between both of them. So let's try this, and it will let me make it a little thicker. I put a lot of flour on here because it can stick. and you end up needing to clean out, like a butter knife you can use to clean out the grooves here. But anyway, let's see what we can do here. This is a little more forgiving, a little bit thicker. So yeah, I would suggest making the dough balls bigger. Okay. But we don't want, let's see if it's beginning to cook or not. Oh, I think I see steam coming up. So what you want is you want to start to see, kind of like pancakes, you want to start to see little bubbles on the top, and you want to get it browned. So you can use the stick to sort of peek underneath and see if it is baking or not. Yeah, I think these are actually, it's starting to come up to temperature. So I think I got this heating a little bit later than I normally would, but that's totally fine. Okay, so I am running out of room on the griddle, so I'm gonna have to try to flip one of these. So you can see it's a lot sturdier now, and we're gonna use this to flip. It's kind of fun to learn how to use these sticks. There's some really beautiful, elaborately painted ones. You could even get a plain sort of stick and paint it yourself or add details if you want. It's a fun project. All right, so I think this one is just about ready. And, okay. So, I think that's just about, oh, you know, I forgot something really important. I'm gonna wash my hands really quick, be right back. And I want to get my favorite toppings for these. I want to eat one right away. So I love, no surprise, butter and a flavored, so usually a cinnamon sugar, but today, since I forgot to mix up the cinnamon sugar, I'm going to try this lavender sugar that I had here in the drawer. So let's try that. Ooh, okay. So I got to hurry up and flip these. They're nice and golden brown. And there we go. Okay, so I think, yay. All right, so this first one is ready for us. You can see it's nice and golden brown here. Yum. So what I'm going to do, this is not perfectly round. Okay, I'm going to put it on the plate just for a second here. But I'll show you what we would normally do. I'm going to get this one. This is quite the game because I got to keep my eye on these things. But oh, shoot. Doing too many things at one time. Alrighty. So let me just get that on the griddle. Still will taste good. No worries. And all right, that's going to be a lot of pieces of lefse. All right, those will still cook. All right. Okay, those aren't quite cooked. All right, so I have this one that's all cooked. Looks more like Australia or something. Interesting. But I'm going to use a pizza cutter. And if it were round, it would look a lot cuter, but I'm still going to cut it in 4 to kind of show you what we normally do. And this is normally bigger and, well, sometimes it's round. And it's okay if it's not. But anyways, it kind of makes triangle shapes. So what you can do when you're packing it away is you can stack the triangle shapes and then put them in a Ziploc freezer bag and freeze them. And that way they're already ready to go. So I'm actually going to put this back on the griddle just for a second so it heats up before we try it with the butter and lavender sugar. These other ones aren't quite ready yet. I want them to be a little browner. Okay. So this is heated up a little bit here. The griddle looks like a little bit of a mess because I got all these weird pieces on there. Expect breakage. It's totally fine. All right, so depending on how warm your lefse is, oh yay, okay, so the butter is still melting a bit on here, so that's good. We're gonna get that all covered in yummy butter. And then take our lavender sugar or cinnamon sugar, whatever you like there. And then we roll it up. Now this is a very small piece, but very good with that lavender sugar. Very nostalgic taste for me. It's so good. Tasty. So good. So, sorry, I just had to eat that whole piece because it's so good. So, we've got more pieces. None of these are perfect pieces, but they are delicious. So definitely let me know if you give this a go. You can use an electric skillet. You can try it with a regular rolling pin. Whatever works for you is awesome. So I wish you the best. Thank you for joining me, and please leave a comment down below as to what you thought of the recipe and if you would like me to live stream any recipes later on. So thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate you, and please join me for more vintage recipes. I use all kinds of different books. I will be doing some main dishes, some holiday dishes this month. And please like this video, subscribe for weekly videos. I'm usually here Wednesdays, always Saturdays, but usually Wednesday and Saturday, unless it's kind of a break or a holiday, but at least once a week. And again, my name is Trista, and thank you for joining me. I'm so excited. Bye. Have a lovely day. Bye.